Right now on Today in AZ, getting Arizona vaccinated. We'll tell you what the state is doing now to ensure more people can get their shots.
Plus, have lawmakers banned the use of gender terms? We're verifying.
And a change for good? What one group is doing to spread love this Black History Month. Thank you for waking up with us here on Today in AZ. I'm Ryan Cody.
And I'm Rachel McNeil. Good morning to you. All right, guys, I hope you're living it up. We had our first 80-degree day of 2021. The weather was amazing yesterday. We know everyone across the country has to be jealous after Punxsutawney Phil announced that there would be another 6 weeks of winter. Not here. This morning, we want to hear from you. How did you celebrate the first 80-degree day of the year? Did you eat dinner on the patio? Did you watch an amazing sunset with your family? Tell us what you did. 602-444-1212.
Did you call your friends on the East Coast and laugh a little bit? Here's a look at just some of the pictures captured by our weather watchers yesterday afternoon. I mean, this is some breathtaking stuff right here. Is that Cape Cod? Like
Lake Havasu, one of my favorite spots.
I was looking real quick. I was like, what? Huh? Where is that? Absolutely breathtaking. You know, we know there have been many more beautiful days ahead of us still to come, Crystal. But, you know, my resolution this year, be where your feet are.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be right here. I'm going to enjoy it for the time being.
Good. This is just absolute paradise. We are in dreamland right now. So yeah, if this is winter, keep it coming. We are certainly enjoying it. Those clouds putting on quite a show at sunset. They really thickened up overnight. And hey, they're not good for only sunsets. They're managing to muster up a few raindrops that are reaching down on the surface here and there across the valley. Just a quick little light splash, if anything. Nothing to throw up the umbrella for. But don't be surprised if a raindrop taps you on the shoulder. Clouds are also making for a mild morning. It's 65 right now, Phoenix, 62 out your window in Avondale, 60 in Gilbert and Queen Creek this afternoon. Yep, we could pop another one. We could have another 80-degree high temperature. It looks like today's record of 86 is safe, though. This is still more than 10 degrees above average, guys.
Thank you, Crystal. At 5:31 this morning, let's start off with a look from our ADOT camera here, the 51 at Bethany Home Road. We have a sprinkle of cars in both directions, and things are moving along well over there on that part of the freeway. So let's take a look at the big picture. We are off to a fantastic start. No accidents to report, no major delays. We have a lot of green on our maps here at this time. We're going to check in with the Maricopa area on the 10 here. We have green in both directions. Same thing with the 347. We may have some traffic slowing down later this morning. I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll let you know if anything changes. Ryan?
All right. Appreciate that, Vanessa. Phoenix Municipal Stadium is preparing to accept more vaccination appointments. This as Arizona sees a spike in COVID-19 related deaths.
Yeah, the Department of Health Services announced there were more than 230 new COVID-related deaths yesterday. That number is up substantially from the 4 reported on Tuesday. In an effort to curb the spread, the state is working around the clock, literally, to get Arizonans vaccinated.
At last check, more than 700,000 doses of the vaccine have been administered in our state. And now the state says it's ready to open up even more appointments at its newest site. Team 12's Matt Uris is live at Phoenix Municipal Stadium for us this morning. And Matt, what do we know about today's big push?
Good morning, Ryan. They're talking about 21,000 new appointments beginning at 9 o'clock this morning, the first time you can start to sign up for those. As far as who's eligible, the state is still focused on Phase 1B. That, of course, includes education, child care workers, protective services occupations, and adults 65 and older, plus anyone from Phase 1A who is yet to be vaccinated is also eligible. To be clear, you don't have to live in Maricopa County to make an appointment here. They are accepting Arizonans from all counties. Now, and this is important, people who do receive their first vaccinations here or over at State Farm Stadium, also a state-run site, will be guaranteed an appointment for a second dose at the same vaccination site. It's for the second dose that gives you that 95% or so protection, so be sure to follow up. Those new appointments will be available beginning this Friday through Thursday, February 18th. So Friday through Thursday, February 18th. You can sign up at 9 o'clock this morning on DHS's website and go ahead and make sure you're eligible before doing that. Live in Phoenix, Matt Uris, Today in AZ.
That's certainly good news, Matt. Thank you. This morning, the push to get a new vaccine approved continues as Johnson & Johnson continues to show some promising results from their trials. And we know We talk a lot about the vaccine, but really, what are the differences between them? Let's go ahead and break this down. Right now, there are 2 COVID-19 vaccines available in the United States. We're talking about the Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine, still in the trial phase, but hopes to become the 3rd approved vaccine very soon. Moderna and Pfizer require 2 doses to be most effective. Moderna has a 28-day period in between doses, and Pfizer requires 21 days, so just 3 weeks between each dose. If approved, though, Johnson & Johnson would just be a single vaccination, which would certainly make things a little easier and streamlined. As for side effects, well, they all seem to be pretty similar across the board. Pain, fatigue, headache, some muscle pain, especially after that second shot with the first 2 options. Dr. Anthony Fauci says getting people vaccinated is more important now than ever, that we are seeing some of these new strains of the virus spreading around the world.
We have to address the variants. If the variants and the mutations come and start becoming dominant, then that's going to obviate some of the effect of the vaccine. And the best way to avoid that is to get as many people vaccinated as quickly as possible.
So we're still waiting to learn more about that Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and we will keep you posted on its progress. For more details on all the other vaccines and how they differ from one to the other, you can head over to 12news.com.
Well, after ordering another round of COVID-19 vaccines, the Biden administration says it's ready to begin distributing the doses to pharmacies across the U.S. More than 1 million doses will be shipped to nearly 6,500 pharmacies around the country, including Fry's Pharmacy, CVS, and Walgreens. The shipments are expected to begin going out next week. Though Walgreens in some states will be receiving shipments of the vaccine, Arizona is not one of them. In a statement yesterday, Walgreens says it will begin administering the vaccine in places like Chicago, New York City, Puerto Rico, and Vermont. New this morning, President Joe Biden signed a major disaster declaration for the Navajo Nation to help battle COVID-19. The disaster declaration provides more federal resources and dollars to the nation, which has been hit hard by the pandemic. The Navajo Nation declared a state of emergency last March, and it remains in effect today. Former Navajo Nation President Albert Hale has passed away. Hale led the nation from 1995 until 1998. He served in the Arizona State Senate from 2004 until 2011 and in the Arizona House of Representatives from 2011 to 2017. No cause of death has been listed yet, but tribal officials say they learned he was battling COVID-19 last Friday. Governor Ducey has ordered flags to be flown at half-staff from sunrise to sunset to honor Albert Hale.
St. Joseph's Hospital provides a glimmer of hope for those fighting COVID in the ICU. You might have heard of ECMO treatment, and doctors are using it as a last resort for the most critical patients. Survivor Ryan Parker describes the agony of the disease and how the innovative treatment saved his life.
I was in the hospital, including rehab, for 134 days.
Ryan Parker was rushed to Chandler Medical on July 2nd as his COVID symptoms became unbearable.
I took a turn for the worse and my lungs started hemorrhaging. And that's when they transferred me to St. Joe's.
The Thoracic Institute at St. Joseph's fought hard to save Ryan as his condition worsened.
As time went on, within a week, he continued to deteriorate, requiring the ventilator.
Ryan's doctor, Dr. Chirag Patel, put him on a ventilator, but it didn't help. As a last effort, they began ECMO treatment.
So it is a last resort treatment, and we made the decision to put him on.
The treatment that Ryan was placed on acts like a set of lungs that breathe for him. This allowed Ryan's oxygen levels to raise back up. But as far as the COVID,
their oxygen levels do slightly increase, but it doesn't make the disease go away. So for in Ryan's case, he was on ECMO for 84 days.
In the midst of agony, Ryan focused on what matters.
And I've stayed focused on getting home to my little boys. I have 2 little boys at home, and I was really fighting for them because I wanted to see them again.
Ryan's doctor says he has fully recovered from COVID, but like many others, it's hard to say what the lasting effects of it might be.
Well, for the last year, many Arizonans changed their daily lives to slow the spread of the virus and prevent overwhelming hospitals. But was it enough? That's what 12 News investigated in our series, Crisis in Care. You can watch that right now on our YouTube channel. Let's get you up to speed now on the stories you need to know to start your morning. A bill newly introduced in the Arizona legislature would change the way police deadly use of force is investigated. The bill, introduced by the House Democratic leader Reginald Boulding, would require an outside law enforcement agency, the Attorney General's office, or a county attorney from another county to investigate an officer's use of deadly force. The bill has support from Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich. Arizona Superintendent of Public Instruction Kathy Hoffman is calling on the government to do more to support students and teachers. During her State of Education address, Hoffman says schools are projected to lose $500 million in formula funding. This is because the state funds distance learning differently than in-person classes. Hoffman says though there are programs in place to help with funding, she wants the state to do more. In an effort to get a clear picture of what schools need, the Department of Education will partner with the governor's office to collect health and socioeconomic data. Developing right now, GCU is taking on the U.S. Department of Education after it says it wasn't granted nonprofit status. Grand Canyon University officials say they did try to work with education officials, but were not able to come to an agreement. The U.S. Department of Education says it doesn't comment on pending litigation. And now you're up to speed. Don't forget, you can always find the latest news on our website, 12news.com, or the free 12 News app.
With new congressional leaders in place, there are a lot of new rules being passed within its chambers. One of those could impact how some people are identified.
There's a new viral claim that says the House has changed its rules to get rid of all gender identity language. But is that true? Let's verify.
The Verify team exists to separate social media fact from social media fiction. You may have seen this graphic floating around online. It claims that gendered terms are now banned in the House of Representatives under the new House rules. Words like brother, sister, son, and daughter. So let's verify. Did the House of Representatives ban gendered terms? Here are sources. House Resolution 8, which set the rules for the 117th Congress. The Code of Official Conduct for the House. And a Library of Congress librarian. Our experts helped explain the confusion like this.
House will come to order.
On January 4th, in a larger rules bill, the House approved a change to their Code of Official Conduct. Think of that as the rule book for House members. That code includes a rule that prevents House members from hiring a relative. It then lists examples of what a relative could be, including father, mother, son, daughter, etc. So here's what the new rule actually did. It changed that definition to be more gender inclusive and succinct. So sibling replaces brother or sister, and so on. Our researchers read through this resolution, and while it altered a lot of different terms, it did not ban any words. So we can verify that no, this House rules change did not ban gendered terms in the House of Representatives. It just changed the definition of relative in one rule out of hundreds.
Still ahead on Today in AZ, a controversial billboard gets a makeover. Why you won't be seeing this any longer.
And the countdown to the greatest show on grass is underway. Who will be hitting the course for this year's Waste Management Phoenix Open?
Selling your home? Well, don't think twice. Go to 72 Sold and get your price. Sell when you choose and close when you choose. Move when you choose and get a higher price too. Sell with convenience and certainty. It's the easiest, best way guaranteed. Get thousands more for your home when you sell with 72 Sold. Go to 72 Sold and get your price.
I used to have to go in to the auto parts store. Pay too much, never find quite what I'm looking for. Now I just go online on Rock Auto and see all the parts my car will ever need. Lower prices, more parts, more brands. It's so easy to find the right parts fast. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
Ready?
No.
No?